Hey y'all, I'm just doing a little sort of an update, and I've got some pictures I'm going to put up for you of various things. First update on the garden. Well, we're getting a lot of purple hull peas. The deer can reach them on the outside of the fence, but she can't reach them on the inside, and when they get way up high, there's no way that she can get to them. So, can't get them all, lady. But she's kind of decimating our Crowder peas in the compost pile. She's jumping into the compost pile. Since now the potatoes are not there, and it's a little bit, the whole thing's lower, she's really jumping in there a lot. And I'll put a picture of the damage up here that she's done. But it's the blooms, they're reblooming, and so I think I'll get a harvest out of there. Now, where they've grown through the fence behind the elderberry bushes, and where they're growing inside the garden at the very top row, where it took them a long time to get started, there's a lot of peas on those. They haven't come ripe yet, ready to pick, like purple hulls. But she can't get all those. Also, I have done something. I strung some things around the top of the compost pile, but last night I thought, why didn't I remember this? And I hope it works, but I remembered that the scented dryer sheets, there's some scents they don't like. Now, if I had cloves of garlic, I would actually I used to put those in knee-high hose, you know, because they're really short, and you would put those in there, tie them on things you didn't want the deer to mess with, the garlic cloves. I don't have any. I just have some chopped minced garlic in the refrigerator, and I don't want to use all that for that. So I went ahead and got dryer sheets, the scented ones. I have unscented and scented. I got the ones that really scented, and I kind of stripped them in half, and I put them around the garden, hoping against hope that she will stay out of the compost pile. Around the compost pile, hoping she'll stay out. And I put a picture up there of that too. But let's just hope, because if she stays out now, even though she's decimated everything that's in there that didn't go through the fence into the main garden, I hope she'll stay out. And you know, that deer, she even ate some butternut squash. Have you ever known deer to eat butternut squash? I mean, when they were like, she's been eating butternut squash. Is that not the craziest thing you ever heard? Got a big giant cicada killer bee over here. Also, tomatoes. I've already stewed down some tomatoes and put them in the freezer in preparation. What I do is I get the peels off of them, and I just, you know, stew them down a little bit and put them in Ziploc bags in the freezer in preparation for having enough to actually can. I'm doing that with the peas too, shelling them and putting them in bags in preparation for actually having enough to can. But I've had to remove a lot of the big tomatoes. Check this out. Look at these Marglobe tomatoes. These things are huge. This one is just under 18 ounces. This is 18.65 ounces, this thing. I had to pull this off because some of these tomatoes are getting so heavy, they're actually pulling off the stems that have other tomatoes on them. If you got one of these plus 4 others on one stem, they're getting so heavy. Oh, I found a stem with about 5 tomatoes on it because of one of these heavy monsters laying on the ground. So these are Marglobes. Can you believe that sucker? Little male wren. The ones that made the nest on top of my dust mop out in the porch, the babies they've hatched and they're feeding them. So if you didn't know it, only the Carolina wren male sings like that. That's daddy. But anyway, these things are humongous. I can't believe these Marglobes are so big, but they're monsters. Anyway, they're good. There's nothing like a homegrown tomato. Grocery store tomatoes never compare. So I'm having to pull off some of these before they actually get totally ripe, so they don't tear everything off and fall on the ground. Now, my Roma tomatoes, I don't know what's going on with those. Almost every one of them's got blossom end rot. I don't know what that is. My Amish paste tomatoes are coming in now that I grew from seed, and they're round. And I'm thinking, I know I didn't confuse those because I pulled them right out of the package and stuck them in the ground. So, But I looked up images of Amish paste tomatoes, and it seems like some are more elongated and some are more round. So I don't know what the deal is, but that's what they were. They were in the package, right out of the package in the ground. So I didn't get those mixed up. But we'll see. They're coming along. And I took a picture of a bean blossom. I don't think there's anything prettier than a bean blossom. The color, the form, it's like a little orchid. It's so beautiful. I took a picture of one of the Rose of Sharon things I've got in pots. My dad gave me a bunch of sticks years ago. I stuck them in pots, big pots. And when they came out, I thought, I don't know what these are. And I don't know why I didn't, because I have Rose of Sharon already planted. And they just haven't grown because I have them kind of in a shady area, really shady. It took me years. I went, wait a minute, I know this leaf. This is a Rose of Sharon. So I've got them in 3 different pots. And after the season, I'm going to take those out of the pots. And I'm going to put those along the back garden fence in our home garden, what I call the house garden, the one closest to the house. I'm still filling up those big bins. My husband has been really bad lately. But we've gotten the first step toward getting a lift. He bought the motor, the winch motor, the lift motor, and it should be plenty strong enough. And he's going to get he has to have 4x4 posts, and he's got to have steel rails, and then he has to have a platform. So the rails can come from Home Depot, and we're going to have those delivered, and I think we're going to get some cattle panels if we can get some from Home Depot, and some other things, maybe some steel fence posts that we need to replace, because Home Depot charges $79 for delivery. I don't have a truck. That would be kind of long anyway to put in a truck. I don't have a truck anymore. So that is the first step, the first part of the lift. And lately, I've really needed it to my knee, my right knee, that I hurt somehow. Before we planted the garden, I was out there, and I was just kind of, brushing aside dirt in the garden. And I don't remember, I didn't kick anything, I didn't dig with my foot, I was just kind of brushing aside the dirt. And the next morning, my knee hurt. Well, it was giving me fits for a while. It was very sore, very stiff. And then, if you recall, I was chasing Maddie, and Maddie didn't want to be caught, and she slowed down. I thought it was coming in the back roll-up door area of the barn. She came in there. I thought she was going to let me catch her, and I reached for her, and she scooted out of the way, and I lunged for her, and I tripped over the threshold, and I landed directly, dead center hit there on that knee. And of course, I hit my rib cage, and I hit I hit a lot of stuff, and I got hurt. But that all healed up. And actually that blow on my knee seemed to pop something back into place, and it was a lot better for a while. Then one morning I woke up and it was back to square one, and now it seems like it's even worse. It feels like somebody's injected some kind of almost set up concrete into my knee. It's extremely painful. I had a brace on earlier, and I can't maneuver with the brace, so I took the brace off. So I'm not sitting down because it's hard to get down and to get back up. I have to hold on to something to get down and back up. So this lift cannot be constructed soon enough. My husband's going to get all the parts. He knows how to make it. He's researched it, and then he's going to find somebody to install it. And so that's where we are on the lift. And my goal is to have our remaining small mortgage, paid off within 4 years. It's going to take throwing about $5,000 a year at it, I think. I already throw a little bit more at the principal every month anyway, but I think I'm going to throw a little bit more at it. Plus, I'm going to grab a chunk out of my own savings account for the next 4 years, and every year I'm going to throw a big chunk at it. And I hope to have it paid off before the next presidential term is over, or by the time it's over. So I'm going to try to do that. What else do I need to talk about? I tell you what, it's amazing. Being a censor for YouTube, for Facebook, for Instagram. Of course, I'm not on Instagram, but I have a friend who is, and she got a notification that something she liked, a video, was removed, and she got a notification that it was removed for improper content on Instagram by the World Health Organization. And it was about them or something, and yeah. So, I mean, being a censor must be a really difficult job right now because they are really working overtime on all those platforms. And something I put in my community section was removed, and without notification. I put it there, it was there, I went back, and I couldn't get into my community section, so I went to my main account name and looked at my community section for this channel there, and it wasn't there. And I still couldn't get in the community section from my own dashboard. So there were some shenanigans going on there. I don't know what, but it's getting ridiculous. It's insane. But that's, I don't even know. It's just the craziest thing ever. And somebody on the comment section on one thing says, you know, get out, take a walk in nature. Put your feet on the ground, put your hands in the dirt, feel this earth. And, you know, I am no new age nutcase, okay? But I feel like there is something to be said for organic people. We're organic. I mean, to feel the dirt in your hands, to grow a tomato and eat it is very therapeutic. And I think that's what we need right now. We so need it. And we need it in more ways than one. I am buying a lot of, you know, I'm buying a lot of supplies. I'm buying more medical stuff. I'm buying more supplements. I'm buying things that I think, I don't need this right now. I've got a lot of it, but if I could never get it again, do I have enough of it? No. So I'm buying a lot of stuff like that. Don't stop prepping. In fact, you need to ramp it up. As one person says, I can't remember who it was, says stack it to the rafters, man. I think it's Bear Independent. I have some issues with some of the things he says every once in a while. A lot of these people have a religious bent that I don't follow, but they have a lot of good information on their channels. And he's a Bear Independent's one of those, and he says stack it to the rafters. Yeah. There's something you might want to look into if you feel like you consider yourself a patriot. There is a network that they're trying to get together. Look up the American Contingency. It was started by Mike Glover of Fieldcraft Survival Channel. And look up the American Contingency. I won't say anything else about that, but check that out. I think it's a worthy thing to look into. If you haven't heard of it, check it out. Fieldcraft Survival Channel. Excellent videos on how to clear a house. You know, if you are of mindset where you have firearms and you're not that, you don't, you know, you may know how to use the firearm, but you don't know how, the logistics of how to use it in a life situation. Fieldcraft Survival Channel is a really good channel. Mike Glover, good guy to watch, okay? Very informational. Anyway, that's really all I have to say about that. It is steamy warm out here. It's really more steamy than warm. It's the kind of thing that makes me, you know, want to go in and turn the air conditioner on, even though the temperature is not that bad. If you don't live in the South, you don't know. It can be 80 degrees and you think that's cool, but when it's 95% humidity, it ain't cool. So keep prepping, keep trying to grow these tomatoes because, I mean, seriously, chicken poop is a good thing. Some mornings I get tired of raking it. I really do. And I am going to let my chickens die off. I want to start over. I'm not going to have breeding groups like I do now. That's too much work. I want one big group, or one group, one consolidated group. Not a big group, but one consolidated group of chickens. I don't want to have to separate them because of the roosters not, you know, keeping a breed pure, or separate the roosters because they fight with each other. I want one, even if it's just a few laying hens and a bunch of guineas. I really want the work there's a different way to do it. And my original flock was that way. It was one group, everybody was in one group, basically. And they free range, they got the free range all day. Now they can't do that because they have to let somebody out for a while and they have to come back in and somebody else can go out. So a lot of times they spend a lot more time inside than they do outside. And I want that to, if I only had 2 groups, just 2, it would be so much better. They could spend hours outside and then divide the day in half, if you know what I'm saying. So it would be easier on me too. So, you know, instead of 5 or 6 waterers at 3 gallons waterers or 5 gallon waterers are so heavy to lift, I would just have to have a couple of waterers and just do that in one big group. But that's neither here nor there. That's going to take a while for it to happen. Anyway, I think I'm shiny. I'm probably, whew, it's so hot. It is so hot. Anyway, that's what's going on here. I'm trying to protect from the deer. And there's a doe with 1 fawn. And then there's another doe I caught out there. I went there early and she was in the yard. And she's bigger. She's a bigger, older doe. And I know she's been here for years. There's several deer that I know they've been here for years because I think they grew up here on this property, you know, making use of this property. And there's an older doe that has twin fawns, and she's been around. So I'm not sure who decimated my compost pile. Whoever did, I'm trying to keep her out so I can at least get another round of Crowder peas going in there. So, and yesterday I went in there and I was messing with tomatoes and I was standing in an ant bed and didn't realize it. One of those little tiny ants, you know, and so my ankles are covered in bites. Anybody got a good remedy for ant bites? God, they itch. God, they itch so bad. I put baking soda paste on there, and I put Caladryl, you know, clear lotion, and I put cortisone, and it's no fun because my knee will not work. But anyway, I don't know how many more videos I'll make lately. I'm just trying to get this update here, and I know I'm rambling, but I don't know how many more, because if my knee gets any worse, I don't know what I'm going to do. I finally just got on the roster for a new doctor. I don't know if I told y'all, but my doctor, I only see a doctor like once a year because I don't get sick. I don't get sick. I have hypothyroid, so they have to test my thyroid once in a while to make sure my medication is on track. And it's been the same dosage for years now. But my physician that I really loved died, and she's younger. She was in her 50s, and I still don't know what happened. They said it was very sudden. But Dr. Severson passed away, and I was devastated because I thought, that's my doctor until I get to Medicare, and then I can get a doctor closer. I'm on TRICARE Prime, and because of the way they keep shrinking the networks, I have to go an hour down there. Well, now I wanted to change doctors, and and my husband called. I said, well, you can't do that. We don't let you just change doctors, and you can't go on TRICARE Standard, which is now called Select, until the new year. And I need my medication refilled, a new refill and a new testing before November. I've got about 4 months of medicine. And so they said, you can't do that and you can't change. Well, he went online. It says, to change your primary care provider. And he did it online. And then he called the new doctor's office. And they said, oh, yeah, she's taking patients. So he did it online. He worked around them. So now, guess what? I have a new doctor. I have an appointment in October. So sometimes you don't accept the first no you get. And sometimes one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing, which can be to your benefit with the military. So, I have a new doctor. I have to go 10 miles further. So I have to go, it's going to be an hour-and-a-half trip to go to the doctor. But I only have to have this doctor until Medicare, and then I can get a doctor here in the next town, right here. Just, 10 miles away instead of, an hour and a half away. So, got around that. I got me a new doctor. Shame about my doctor, though. I really liked her. I left. The only other doctor in that office now is a doctor I left. And then he came to that office later after I had my doctor that passed away. And I left that doctor because he pushed vaccines. That is literally all he did. He pushed vaccines. Always, we need to get the shingles, and you're of a certain age now. You need a flu shot, and you need the shingles vaccine, and you need a pneumonia vaccine. And I said, I don't take vaccines. And he said, well, the shingles, and he kind of pushed it. I said, I'll do some research. And he called me pig-headed. And I thought, well, that's really nice calling your patients names. I'm my own advocate. You don't tell me what to do. Who died and left you God? You don't get to tell me. I make my health decisions. You don't make my decisions. You're just a consultant. Doctors are mechanics. They are body mechanics. Do you let your car mechanic tell you what to do about your car? Do you let them force you to do repairs and tell you how to run your car repairs? Doctors are body mechanics. That's their area of expertise, but they're consultants. They don't get to tell me that I must do anything. So I left him because all he did was push vaccines, and I refused to have anything to do with him. So that's why I didn't go to him, since he's in the same office as she is now, unfortunately. I didn't even want to see his face. I said I don't trust him, I don't like him, I don't trust him, and I'm not going back to that man. He fired my husband because my husband wouldn't just kowtow out of what he wanted either. And then after that, he kept doing vaccine. I said, I'm going to leave too. I can't stand this man anymore. This is what the military does to us with their medical thing. They keep shrinking what we can do. But in just over a year, I don't have to put up with that no more. So anyway, that's enough rambling. Y'all have a good day, and I don't know what I'll do. I guess I'll see you when we have a lift, and I'll show you the lift that we have done. My husband needs to get the materials list and have it all delivered, and that costs 79 bucks. So I said, let's order a lot more stuff to make the delivery charge worth it, because no matter if you order a little bit, or you order a bunch of stuff, it's still 79 bucks. So let's make it worth it. Stay chill and keep prepping, everybody. It ain't over yet. In fact, it's not. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. You think it can't get worse? It can get worse. So stay cool, everybody. Talk to y'all later.